And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 290. So I hope you guys had a great day and I hope you guys have a great weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we have two topics for you guys tonight. We will be talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps box office worldwide. Then we will also talk about one of the topics that I actually had set up for Wednesday's episode of the MSK show, but basically I didn't want to actually do it at that moment in time because it was already really late for me and I needed to go take a nap because I was literally so hard-fisted at work that day that I was like, you know what? Maybe on Wednesdays we just do one topic and that's it. Monday we can kind of pretty much experiment with doing like 2 to 3. Fridays, it can be like 2 to 3, give or take, right? But Wednesday, moving forward, pretty much just going to settle on doing one topic or not a topic. We just could just talk and have our regular guy bro conversations that you guys know and love. But tonight, we will be tackling one of the topics that I did not get a chance to go over with on the MSK show Wednesday, which is Superman's digital and physical release date. And it's really interesting when you look at what's going to be the change in the landscape for digital and physical release dates for, movies going forward, because from just Superman's, digital release, just that, there's a bunch of stuff added to it that's not going to be on the physical DVD, which is interesting because is this just going to be the way of the future, or was this something that people were already doing and I just discovered it? Probably. But as you guys know, good news. Lunchbox Warren got approved for his new house coming up. So he's going to be basically rebuilding his finances, as he said. But don't worry, you can always donate to his OnlyFans. You can always do that.
I'm going to get that started up really good soon, too. So
we're also going to basically get him a GoFundMe. We're going to get him we're going to fund him a fridge. Fund Lunchbox Warren's fridge for a year. I'm not going to lie. I thought about doing it because if you're just honest with people, I do feel like people would just be like, okay, fuck it here.
Well, you never know. I mean, you could start one and just be all like, help me buy food for this month and then just see how many people donate to
it. Good Lord. Like, I'll be honest here. If there's like homeless people and, they're just honest and like, hey, man, can I get a few bucks for a beer? I'm going to be honest here. If you're not lying and I can just tell you're not lying, I'll just give you the money. If it's not like a couple dollars, I don't care. It's a couple dollars. I could make a couple dollars farting if I wanted to. I'll just give it to them. But if it's like, hey, can I get a couple bucks because my kids are, going hungry. I'm broke. I had sex with my wife's sister and she threw me out. It's like, okay, you're just lying. Like I remember the last time I gave someone something, there's this white lady outside of like a place called Food for Less. I think you guys have it in Washington too. It's like I think you guys, or I think we only have it in this area.
Yeah, Food for Less doesn't sound familiar, but sometimes like we have Safeways, but other people have like Albert's.
You guys have Stater Brothers up there?
No. We have Fred Meyer's, which is same as Koger's.
Like, do you see just like white girls sometimes just stoked out on meth? And she said she hadn't eaten in like few days, and I was like, you know what? I usually like buy like like for supermarkets, like they'll have like chicken out. They'll have like baked chicken ribs. So I usually grab that, and I grabbed an extra one by accident because I wasn't really consciously thinking. Because you get off work, you go get groceries or food. You're not constantly thinking about everything. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna come in, get this done. So I ended up giving that extra fried chicken to her. So I don't even know if I've never seen this girl ever again after that. But she was really happy. She was like genuinely really happy. She was like, because it looked like she hadn't eaten in a few days. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is extra.
You really
I'm not
can't
gonna eat it.
Yeah, around here you really can't go outside for more than 5 minutes without seeing a crackhead because they're just everywhere.
I saw one this morning just walking out the door, going to work. He was like, hey, you got a couple bucks, and I've seen this guy everywhere. Like this is a able-bodied person. Like this person can go to work, or there's no way a person at his age has no connections, no person to lean on to help. And if he got into that position in life, it's really fucked up when people hear me say this, but if your life is that way, one of two things happen. You did fall on bad times, which happens. It literally does. And I've seen people fall on bad times just as bad as that guy and get out of it. So it's not impossible. Like, it's not impossible if you really try.
The problem is because I used to think the same way. It's just like, why don't they just pick themselves up?
But some of them might want to just be that way.
Well,
subconsciously.
There is that too. There's also, I was thinking about, it's like, okay, if you had absolutely nothing, no car, no house, no room, nothing, you just yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How long would it take you to get enough money to get an apartment? Like, you'd have to find a job. You'd have to do that job without a home. So then hopefully you find a job that you're able to do.
If
you get a minimum wage job, by the time you have enough to get into an apartment, it's going to take you probably about a year. And that's a year with no home.
I will say this, at least you're trying. And I think personally, if you look around and ask people, depending on the person that you are, depending on your coworkers, I've seen situations where people just kind of live on someone's couch or live in someone's shed.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's always ways.
Or there was a guy that there was a channel that I used to watch a long time ago. There was a person who would call in and have a bad internet connection, and people thought he had like Burger King Wi-Fi. Turned out he was living in a motel because he was homeless at one point, saving up to get an apartment. He had been working, he said, hours and hours to do this. So, like, I always say people, they'll be like, well, I don't have a place if I get a job. You can get a motel.
Well, no, it is extremely difficult, but it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
I truly believe if you really want to get out of it, you'll take, and I'll tell you right now, baby steps. It's not going to be easy. It's not, we're not going to sell you some bullshit. No, it's going to be hard. There's going to be some nights where you're probably going to be crying to sleep. Just going to be honest here. But I'd rather you have that and get through that than just sit there and have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what's the alternative?
Yeah. I also think a lot of it's mental health too. I think a lot of people are self-medicating, using drugs to help with mental health problems. I think if you had better mental health care, a lot of the homeless problem would go away. Because, like the guy that's out there screaming at a bush for, 20 minutes or just yelling at the air, that's schizophrenia. That's a lot of stuff that could be going on, compounded with, heroin or meth. It's a terrible situation for those guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's a complex situation, but there is a lot of different stuff that could be done to make it better.
Oh, and another thing, because I always would get told this stuff, like, to me by people that I know, they would be like, well, you just don't know that person's story. I can't believe this is how conversation gets around these days. Like, when you actually have conversation with someone, they'll be like, well, you don't know that person. No fucking shit, I don't know that person. But what I do know is that I would never want to end up like them. And keep in mind, I would just offer slight advice to helping someone out if I really could. But there's this notion that I can't speak on that person's story because I don't know them is ridiculous. Because first of all, people don't know, you are literally potentially losing your job or having hours cut from being almost like that, So if you're someone that's like even yourself struggling, well, what do you mean you don't know what that person's going through? They're struggling in a different way. You're struggling actually because you are just maybe potentially, having some bad financial problems. Like, I don't get it, Like, I'm just saying from a perspective that I'm looking at, I don't know how anyone could live like that. I'm saying that would make you, in my opinion, unless something literally happened to you that really put you there, bad times, which is that one I excuse. If something really bad happened to you and you end up like that, that's whatever, because that's just life. Sometimes life really just gives you a bad hand. But if it's conscious and you're choosing to do that, no, you're a fucking loser. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't have sympathy for that. That's really just disrespectful to working people that are working able-bodied person doesn't go and become a taxpayer. Sorry, everyone. At the end of the day, we'll all become taxpayers. That's just the story of our life. Unless you're obviously a filthy rich multi-billionaire, but they pay taxes too. So everyone at, what was the old saying back in the day? All roads lead to death and taxes.
Yeah, they're the only two guarantees in life: death and taxes.
Yeah, like, you can't escape taxes or being a taxpayer. They'll come for you one day. So. Yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. And, people say I'm mean. Well, good. Well, maybe that hurts you, and that's good. You can fix your fucking life. Because the reason why a person hasn't fixed their life is because no one's told them that. People went, oh, it's okay. It's okay to be a fucking loser. It's okay to be poor. It's okay to be these. No, it's not okay to be any of those things. Okay, it's not. I don't know who lied to you. I don't know who hurt you. None of those things are okay. And
Do you need a hug, MSK?
I
You
just
you get
I've
so
gotten to the
mean.
point in life where I am literally just being. I'm under this model. Being white is temporary, but being right is forever. Good Lord. I've gotten to the point where people just think I'm just a straight up asshole. Good. I don't even care. If that's truthful and it got through to you in some way, awesome. Do you know I had someone argue to me about trans bullshit today? Because there was that person. Do you see a clip of that cat dude who's pretending to be a woman as a cat dude? Already, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The whole aim assist bullshit. It looked like on the video that he was using cheats to. People don't know in FPS games, there's cheats you can use to the point where you're like your locked camera can bounce back without you having to like toggle your, joysticks to get back to the point where you were gonna, shoot someone, right? His was he was shooting and it would bounce back on camera to the other thing, give a headshot. That is nobody can do that. Like the fastest people ever can do that. So this person got banned on Twitch for obviously cheating. I think that's a little unfair. I think Twitch got to stop doing that. You need to give a warning to these things. If the person has no strikes and they did nothing wrong, warning, 7 days. Then it's 2 weeks. Then it's a month.
Why does Twitch give a shit if he's cheating? Like the game he's playing should give a shit that
but
he's cheating.
The same thing happened to Mango. Like Mango did that weird shit, and then Twitch banned him, even though it wasn't even his stream. It was crazy shit.
Like, no, he should be banned from whatever Call of Duty or whatever the hell he's playing, and he shouldn't be allowed on that. Like, who gives a shit if he's kicked off of Twitch? I watched a girl just stand in a kiddie pool of baby oil and do jumping jacks. They didn't ban, like why do they give a shit if he's cheating or not?
And then it was revealed this person obviously was a dude pretending to be a woman, and then this other guy was
replying to me. So it was a trans woman who's also identifies as cat.
More like a mentally ill dude.
A trans cat woman was caught cheating on Twitch today.
So a
Twitch
mentally
kicked him, her, they are.
Correction. A mentally disturbed man pretending online to be a cat lady got, kicked off of Twitch. Just pointing out.
Tonight, versus nice versus asshole. We're going to talk about the trans woman kicked off of Twitch.
This is where, okay, so I'm not going to show everyone the entire thread, but this person named Chad Cyborg, I'm not shitting, that was the actual person's name. Chad Cyborg decided to chime in. I don't know who this is. This person is probably a bot. It's got 34 followers. But all I said was her, you mean him. I don't know how it's got 1,000 views. It's crazy that if you actually call out any like Looney Tunes, the views on your tweets just go up. It's like everyone is waiting to see like the next like
X loves battling, and you love battling. So this is a perfect.
And guess what he replied to me? Here. He was like, "Him quotations. You mean her? No,
you mean her voice. You guys stop.
Try listening to his voice. Her voice. Wait, what? This person came with the best comeback I've ever seen. I identify as black. If you disagree with me, you're literally the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Holy fucking shit, dude. And then the ironies of irony kicked in. Then Chad goes, now you're just being silly. Yeah, it's silly that someone would pretend to identify as black, right? But it's not silly that a man pretends to be a cat lady on Twitch, right? That's not silly. But the other one is. It's like, you people have no self-awareness at all. You're literally stupid. I said, yeah, it's pretty silly to pretend to be something you aren't. He says, yeah, it is. He agrees. He agrees that you should not be pretending something you're not, in the context of what this is, right? Because you're deceiving someone. Which is why she's not pretending to be something she isn't. She's indeed a woman. You can't help people like that. You literally just can't help people like that. Person agrees. Yeah. If I came up to Warren and I was like, I identify as a Mexican, and if you disagree with me, you work for ICE and you must be a Nazi. Now, Warren would go, damn, this motherfucker is literally insane. Yeah, it's pretty insane that a random person would walk up to you and go, "Hey, I'm pretending to be this. Please, like, validate my opinions, right? Or the way I live." And then sane person goes, "Damn, yeah, that is kind of stupid, right?" No,
No, I would go, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?"
oh god. Did you not see the irony in that? Did you not see the interaction where, like, I just can't do it. Like, no, these people, I usually end up blocking them, but I wanted to make sure I saved this thread because it just highlights just how stupid that could be. So, like, if I said I want to identify as an alligator, and if you disagree with me, you hate all animals. You would think like I'm insane, right? That would be legitimate insane thinking. But if I told you that I wanted to put on a dress and be a woman, you would think like, damn, yeah, you could be a woman. Like the light bulb doesn't click the other way. It's like, what? What? Actually, just the most crazy thing in life you could do is identify that one thing is completely stupid, yet validate the other stupid thing because there's just a human element to it. You know what, people? Humans can be wrong. We can be wrong about how we feel. Not everything you feel is good or right or justified. Just pointing out. Like, holy crap. Holy crap. And anyone named Chad Cyborg, you already know that person was going to be fucking retarded, honestly. He said being gay is different. Was that ever in question? Was that ever in question? Like, I just don't get it. Oh, God. I'm never going to let that one live down. I'm the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Yeah, that's crazy. If you're a white person, can you identify as black? You can just say the N-word, the hard N-word. Not the GA one that people kind of use
Well,
like,
there is something that's kind of been buzzing around that was picking up some steam earlier in the year called transracial, where essentially
that's what I am.
Identifying as a different race.
That's what I've always
and
seen
that's
myself.
Actually starting to pick up a little bit of steam on the fringes of.
You know what's crazy? I was joking about being transracial, like basically throughout my entire life, unconsciously, like unintentionally. But I can tell you guys from experience, I am basically trapped in a black man's body of a white man's spirit. And and what's crazy is you can't disagree with me because I'm black, and if you disagree with me, you're racist. That's how that works. You know how retarded and stupid that would be? Do you know how dumb of a motherfucker you would have to be to really believe me when I just said there? You'd be insane. But wait a minute. If I say I want to be a freaking alligator, you'd be like, that's stupid. Why does this logic? No, just go the other way. He was like, sex and gender are different. I was like, no, it's not. First of all, let's just say they are. Hypothetically, even though this person is completely wrong, let's just say they are different. They're not. Let's just say they are for argument's sake. The reason why you aren't that sex specifically, you cannot get pregnant. You do not produce estrogen, which what women do. You do not have periods. You will never get menopause, which is what most women have, and you don't have periods. So you could call yourself whatever you want. You don't have the attributes of the other gender, so you can't be it from purely a biological point of view. Just pointing it out. And anytime someone says, well, gender is a social construct, I was like, that's when you know the retardation's kicking out. It's like, and I was trying to ask, how are they different though? There's only two of them. Even if you just said sexist, there's still two. Like,
that's how they try to explain it.
Yeah, they're like, gender
you have your biology.
Yeah, but what you choose to identify as.
But gender is a separate entity of what your identity is, and that's a social construct. So then they're allowed to like essentially identify as whatever they choose to be.
Yeah, but even in that, because I know that's I know that's not what you believe, but I know that's how they say. Well, gender is different because that's how you choose to identify. But like, how do you identify? Like, it's so weird. Then, so based off that is what they always bring up. I would ask them, well, why can't I do it for anything else? You know, if I literally just wanted to go and act like a dog right now, could I just do that?
Well, I mean, there are people who do that. There are grown people who act like children. They act like horses.
Oh, yeah.
Cats. They identify as cats. There's all sorts of, even on the extreme hinges of this, even to just someone simply as identifying as the opposite sex.
Well, because you would ask
know.
them, so if gender and sex are different and you choose to your gender is based on what you identify as, then what I always ask this, what makes, like, you can say what is a woman, because that applies very well. Glad Matt Walsh brought that up eventually. That's a phrase of the century. We lost a lot of phrases back in the day. All the phrases we usually kind of say now are just kind of old back in the day stuff. The new one, what is a woman, applies there. Like, then what is a woman then? But then you would say the definition of it is an adult female. So it's not like that whole identifying gender thing doesn't even logically make sense, because there's plenty of things you can bring up to obviously break it. So like, if you believe that a woman is an adult human female, then you yourself can identify as that, because you are not that definitionally. And people will say, but the definition of a chair is something you sit in, right? So if you have who said, but what about a beanbag chair? A definition is just to give you a description of what it is, something that you do, something that an action, various things go into a definition, right? You're just using it as a descriptor. It's not like some descriptors, people say, but some definitions have multiple meanings. Some do, not all. Some are pretty much just like, this is what it is. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, not every definition is like that at all.
I have no problem if someone wants to identify as whatever. The problem I have, though, is when you start trying to rewrite science, and you start trying to force this ideal onto where you get, men boxing women, or trans women boxing women, breaking orbital sockets, breaking their skulls, skull fractures, taking away sports opportunities from women, invading other women's private spaces. And it's really, when you start getting into that area, it's like, well, no, we need to pump the brakes, and we need to talk about
you do have to draw some line into that.
Yeah, we don't need men beating the shit out of women on stage.
But that's we don't
need to see that.
In their definition that you just brought up, that's why that would make no sense. So if you identify as a woman, so you can just be in women's spaces, that's where the need to start having, like,
they're trying to deny the biology of it too. It's like, these women go into the space, and maybe they don't want to see essentially a man, even if that man identifies as a woman. That doesn't change the fact that your biology is a man. Like, I'm sorry that you feel like you're born in the wrong body, but your bone structure is different. You shouldn't be punching another woman. If you have all of the male facilities, you shouldn't be showing that to a child in a pool locker room, changing room area. There's stuff that you can't, you have to be careful of it. It's like, I understand that they feel like they have the right to do this stuff, but at the same time, though,
there's a counter right to that.
We can't deny the truth of the situation, and that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to rewrite and redefine what the truth is, and then everyone else is supposed to follow along. And for a while there, it was, if you didn't agree with us, we were going to end your career. And you had people losing YouTube channels. You had people being kicked off of Facebook, losing their voice, essentially, because they just didn't toe the line with this kind of insane philosophy that the transgender community has. And it was a problem. It's not as strong now, and we've seen a massive flip when it comes to that kind of, with their power in that. But for a while there, just the conversation you and me are having and the stuff that you're saying, we could have easily had a Twitter mob shut us down, within like 5 minutes, and we would have never had a voice. They would have kicked us off of Twitter, Facebook, all of Instagram, all that stuff would have been gone just me sitting here while you're saying what you were saying earlier. So yeah, it's definitely gotten.
Or not even that. If you said this 5 years ago, people that would be like on shows with you would stop being on shows with you due to guilt by association.
I would have to leave.
Even if some of them agreed with you, they would.
I'd have to go make a video saying how I separate myself from you and you're an asshole 5 years ago, just because you said that while I was sitting here.
Or the other thing that I was going to bring up, the thing that really just threw me off with it was being told and forcibly kind of pushed in a way where you had to basically tell this person they're that. What if I just don't want to? Because, it's weird. The country's supposed to be free will, freedom of speech, and all that stuff. Well, it's not really free if I have to, validate your own weird personal feelings from a stranger. Come on, this is like strangers you could meet
not
that won't
free
do.
if I'm not allowed to say and think stuff. Like
That's the key there, right?
If I can't say that you're not a real biological woman, you are biologically a man who identifies as a woman. Then why I shouldn't be of the threat to lose jobs. I should
yeah.
You have to right now. The way I voted this last November, the way I voted and the fact that I was open about it has lost me multiple people and friends and connections. And it's just because of the way I voted. And to me, it is the most aggravating, asinine, childish, idiotic thing that there's so much of this is like
tribalistic.
The instant judgment. Like I grew, the first person I could have voted for when I was younger, I believe was during the Bill Clinton Bush race. And I voted for Bush because I was in the military. I think that was the only reason why I did. But no, it was I think I'm not. Yeah, I think so. But anyway,
right.
It's like, I've never had a time period where okay, you think this, like you are Republican or you vote this way. Now you're evil, horrible. I can't talk to you. You can't come to the show. You can't come to the convention. Like it's just ridiculous. And then the same motherfuckers deny that it's even happening. They'll be all like, "Oh, no, that's just in your head." It's like, no, it's not. I'm losing connections because of the way that I voted, and it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my thing basically would be along the same line. So their argument doesn't go back the same way. So they're like, so that same guy told me, well, let them do it. What's the harm? Why don't you just go with it? What if I just don't want to? It could just be like, what if I just don't want to? I don't want to do what you're telling me, because if we're supposed to live in this free country as an ideal, I could just say no. That's the reason why our country is the way it is. It's the reason why people like coming here. It's the reason why, debatably, millions of immigrants try coming over here. There's a reason why our country's a place where everyone wants to go to. So just because you tell me that you want to do that, that's cool, but I just disagree and I don't want to do that. But it doesn't go to the respect factor. Oh, I respect you for saying that. Like just because I won't validate your bullshit doesn't mean someone else will. I'm just telling you I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. It's literally a no on every single freaking way this person would try to say this stuff to me, because you have that right. Keep in mind, just because you're allowed to do something doesn't mean I can't just disagree with it. Like, okay, we have free will here, but there's restrictions. Obviously, there's literally laws. You're not actually allowed to do whatever you want, right? Under the pretense of, as long as it doesn't harm someone else. Yeah, you telling someone you're the opposite and then other people think and validate you, that's a problem, because they're validating delusion. That is a problem. You're validating not reality. It's this stupid logic that I hate when someone says it doesn't affect you. Why do you care so much? What do you mean it doesn't affect? That is not how things work. In school, they literally taught you about cause and effect. But it's actually one of the best things they ever taught you. I think there's a cause and effect to everything. You doing that now means you must do that for everyone. And if you don't do it, then apparently you're just the worst person ever. Yeah, it has no effect on people. That's so no
effect on you. It certainly does if I tell you I don't agree with you.
Because literally, they mentally break down if you literally don't agree with them.
If I say I don't agree with you, there's a good chance that you're going to try to come after my job. That there's a good chance that you're going to come after my livelihood. You're going to come after, attack me and report me on YouTube. No, the people who say that, it's like, well, why do you care? Well, I care because if I don't lockstep with your opinion, you guys are going to come after my livelihood. And that's what the fucking problem is. I don't give a shit. If I worked with some 6 foot tall dude who wore a dress and was like, my pronouns are she, her, I have no problem doing whatever she wants to, just because I'm respectful like that. But if she turns around, it's like, do you think I should be a boxer? It's like, no, you should be a fucking boxer because you're going to destroy some poor woman in there. We don't need to see men beating women. I don't care how you identify
It's
it.
because secretly these people are sexist, and to a certain degree, but they can't be sexist because if you're this thing, then that must automatically mean that it's that Family Guy clip where Quagmire's dad became a Looney Tune, and then there was a clip that aged like fine
And
wine,
Brian slept
where
with him.
where the bartender was like, "Well, you're Troon, so you can get away with everything you want." Yeah. What was the number one thing about that clip of that cheat for that dude? Whenever like everyone found out this person was a Looney Tune, and then the people that found that out basically called out like this person is pretending to be a cat lady. Person's a straight up dude. The people went, "Oh, but this person's a real woman. Defend her. You're a Nazi or blah 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 blah." And it's like, apparently, this fucking hell, dude, it's actually insane. Like that's just for me. I because once you kind of go along with some of it, then you essentially kind of go along with all of it. That's how some people think. I don't. I mean, there's limits and barometers to everyone. I just operate under, I don't like it all. I just don't believe in it. I think it's all just trash, and I think it's just a social contagion. Like when the idea that it doesn't affect you is literally that's gaslighting 101. Then that's also just concern trolling. So someone calling themselves a woman and they're not doesn't affect people. All right, so why do they want to be in women's sports then? How's that not affecting the women that compete against those guys? What? Actually insane. Like I think these people think in one way. My life goes like this, so nothing else matters. And it's like that's just not how life functions. You can live your life as if nothing else matters, but that's not exactly reality itself, Oh, you guys were in the chat, being cloud chasers, so that's why I was ignoring you. I'm joking. Weed is now going to be reclassified as a lower drug depending on the politics. I did hear that. Yeah, I heard in some states they're reconsidering kind of making it a lower tier kind of
no,
drug
it's going to be,
misdemeanor.
they're talking about federally. Right now, it's considered a schedule, I believe it's called Schedule 1, which means it has no medical applications.
So how would that affect like
all.
weed shops, at places that sell like
what that happens is it essentially decriminalizes weed. It drops it down to where the federal government's all like, we don't really, we're cool with it essentially. And then it also opens it up for medical applications and study. So what it does is essentially this is like a kind of a backdoor legalization, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then that means it'll start essentially becoming, it'll be legal everywhere then. Because if the federal government doesn't care, most local governments won't care either. Maybe
the biggest
Texas and Idaho.
So before we get to the topics, this is the last thing we'll cover. So the biggest thing that people have brought up, like I think Matt Walsh has been going all day on it. Essentially, it was not today, a few days before, Matt Walsh was really going off on it, and a lot of people were chiming in on it. So he had said this: has the legalization of weed actually improved anything? Like overall, and was that even the overall original premise? Because the original premise kind of was like, well, why is this illegal when all these other things are just as bad legal? That's what I would agree with. It should be allowed to exist if these other bad things exist. But when people kept, it's like adding and padding on extra bullshit in a marketing campaign. It's like, okay, you just want to smoke weed. That's fine. That's totally okay. But let's not like extra pad it as if like it's gonna be all these things that it's not. Like having weed legalized in California has to make California better.
Well, no, but it depends on what matrix you're judging it on.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It does like
Washington, Oregon, and California legalize weed. Okay, so that means they're not spending any more money policing weed, and now weed is becoming a revenue source. So that means money's coming in. Now, is it all offsetting itself? I'm not sure. Is the money resource? Is the money coming in like through taxes along? Because I know Washington taxes the shit out of it. But Washington taxes everything. So it all depends on like the system, the revenue that's coming in, how you judge it.
Yeah, because there's so many different question here is, layers to
here's
it.
A question.
Yeah.
Whether or not it made things better, but it hasn't made things worse. And is it really worth the bother of spending all the time criminalizing it?
And then I would also add, I would even also add to your point, if you take it away, let's say you do, who's to say that these same cities and rural areas and towns aren't going to be the same democratic written shitholes anyway. Because keep in mind, before it was even legalized, there were still shitholes. You know what I mean?
Well, weed is not creating these shitholes,
Yeah, that would be like your the people in charge that are doing that.
Now, if you throw someone away in prison for multiple years for felony weed charges, then yeah, that's a father off the street, away from their kids. That's a person out of that's a person locked away. I don't know. Like, to me, is it worth? It's like if they started. It's like is it worth even policing? Because it's not. Weed was legal and the world didn't end. There's no real massive damage. It's making money, and it's still less dangerous than alcohol. So it's like, why even spend the money, the time, and the resources fighting it? Not only that, legalizing it has completely decimated the black market trade for weed. So
that's my overall general argument. It's like, I don't like the extra padding that goes with it. It's like, okay, you just want to legalize and it's just literally a lesser evil than these other evils. That's fine. Just that's the argument. It's like, you want it out because and you think it's just as not as bad as either. That's fine. Obviously, I'm just saying right now, people, cigarettes is way worse. Like, if you still think cigarettes are as bad, that's crazy. Cigarettes are horrible for you.
Well, yeah. And weed also helps people with cancer treatment management. It helps.
Vaping the same way?
Vaping. If you're vaping tobacco, if you're doing like this kind of stuff, this is just
he's a vape bro. Oh, Warren's a vape bro. No.
This is just concentrated weed oil in in a pen. So I mean, it all depends on. But I mean, it's not perfect though, by no means. It's not like it doesn't harm you in some way, but it just it's ridiculous that it's a Schedule 1, because it does have it does have certain medical properties that you can use it for, especially with more study. It has uses, so it's kind of was demonized for ridiculous reasons. So yeah, I don't think that it should be as criminal as at all. I mean, I'm not saying like decriminalize heroin. I'm just talking about weed.
Let's just let it all out.
Let it all go. And while you're at it, make prostitution legal too. We'll start.
To be fair, there's brothels that still exist, right?
Well, if they made it legal.
And prostitution is essentially that. OnlyFans already covers that.
Well, like if you had prostitution like in Vegas, where it was legal and regulated and taxed, you would essentially destroy the street black market, and it would put a massive hamper on the sex trade, because just like with weed, why are you going to go the illegal route when you could just go down the street to the legal shop and get what you want? So there is a good argument.
Would you have to wear a condom with girls in a brothel? I'm pretty sure you have to.
You're not going to wear a condom with a hooker?
But they get tested like a lot, don't they? I heard they get tested a lot.
Jesus, man, you're going to be like her 20th customer that day. What are you talking about?
Just being honest here, I'll probably finish before I even go inside. I'm only lasting 5 seconds. I got to make this 5 seconds last.
You're going to want to be prorated for your hour. It's like, I'm only going to use like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I essentially I'll make this quick, and then afterwards I want her to tell me that I'm doing a good job and that I'm okay. That's good. Everything's going to be okay, and hug me. And then after that, I'll leave.
Well, it's time to have some fun, guys. Speaking of prostitutes and businesses whoring themselves out, the MCU hasn't done any good job of that.
All the weird shit we talk about sometimes.
God, and people tell me that I'm not a top G or a Riz master.
Who says that? Ridiculous. Liars.
Fake fans out there. They're not watching the quality. Damn, I gotta stop looking at hookers when we do these shows. Holy crap.
What the hell are you doing looking at hookers while we're supposed to
They're not hookers. They're e-thoughts.
How are you looking at e-thoughts while we're supposed to be having in-depth conversations?
Oh my goodness. I still can't believe a girl made $76 million on OnlyFans because she did those gay little stupid girl dances that girls do. She literally looks, she's all right looking. It's not an ugly girl. You could definitely tell she had a BBL, but she does the same thing. I just don't understand. $76 million this girl gets. Not kidding. She doesn't even get naked. You don't even see sex videos. That is, I'll be honest here. I got to give her props for that. That's how you win the game. Not taking off your clothes and getting almost close to hundreds of millions of dollars for basically just being a fucking e-thought. Bonnie Blue, she's put some massive skin in the game. She had to sleep with 1,200 dudes.
You know, it does drive me nuts that some of the, like, chicks could just go and exist on the internet, like in front of a camera, and just being hot, and they make more money in clicks than we will ever get in our entire lives.
The most average ones, even the most basic ones, just them starting, get a boost. It's ridiculous.
Oh, like we're talking like 3s up to like 10s, maybe even 2s and 1s. But that's that's not big of audience. But mid to low looking women just go on the internet and exist. Just like go on there and just sit there in front of a camera and do nothing, like paint their nails, and they'll have 10 times the viewers we'll ever get.
Well, it's time to have some fun here tonight, boys. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps box office worldwide. So the Fantastic Four First Steps is the 37th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have come full circle after all this time. The MCU started in 2008 with 2008's Iron Man, and my butthole got exploded, and I do truly want to fuck your wife. And I'm
You were doing so well.
God, my brain just fried. Adulting is hard. As Michael says, I don't know if I'll ever commit the time to watch all these movies and shows. I'll just on your day off, when you're free time, just watch one. It always starts with one. Just watch one a week. Don't even put any pressure. Just be like, hey, I'm gonna just watch a movie a week. But this is how you get sex with girls, by watching this guy. All jokes aside. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps box office worldwide. The Fantastic Four First Steps is the 37th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and kicks off Phase 6. Feels like just yesterday, the MCU began back in 2008 with the release of Iron Man starring Robert Downey Jr., and the film was directed by Jon Favreau. 17 years of the MCU. And, 3 years after this, come 2028, we'll be on our 20th anniversary. But the problem here with this movie is that this is Marvel Comics' first family, Jack Kirby's baby. The man, the myth, the literal legend, Jack Kirby. Would he be happy that this movie exists now? Probably. If he was actually alive now, he would probably say, God damn, those Fox movies were fucking trash. This is actually way better, honestly. And he'd be pretty much blacklisted from Marvel at this point. But like, when people ask me why I didn't like the Silver Surfer edition. Well, first of all, the Silver Surfer edition should have just been Norrin Radd. And I know people are going to say, you didn't like her because she's a woman. Let's just say that's true. And it is. What's the problem with that? I just didn't like her. It should have just been Norrin Radd. Why? It's very simple. Let's say I have two choices of women to have sex with. I'll give you two choices here. I could have sex with Shuri, the actress Letitia Wright, who portrays Shuri in Black Panther. Okay? Or I could have sex with Rachel Brosnahan. There you go. No, but if you don't have sex with Letitia Wright, well, who cares? My personal preference. Also, Norrin Radd is the only Silver Surfer that most of you know. I know you guys don't give a fuck about that female Silver Surfer. And keep in mind, she's in place. It's his place. I just don't get it. I don't like her. It's a trash idea to disrespect the male Silver Surfer, to have her in the movie, and she's worthless. Actually, just worthless. She's equivalent to when Supergirl was in The Flash. I didn't like Supergirl in The Flash. I think she was trash. That's what you get for hiring a TV show actor from Days of Our Lives. Obviously, you knew that quality was coming. But no, I didn't like her. I wish it was just Norrin Rad. But I did like the movie. It has the boring element to it in one aspect that I agree with people on. One aspect. Barring the things I didn't like about the movie, I actually really, really enjoyed it. And the movie has not been doing well at the box office. I mean, I will say this right now, because people always say I'm saying movies flop. But I'm only saying that because it's true. Like, I wouldn't lie to you guys and tell you something I do not honestly believe. So, Minecraft didn't bomb. Lilo and Stitch didn't flop. Okay? Those are two movies that made a lot of money on their production budgets and marketing. They did well. The amount of money that both Marvel and Disney and Warner Brothers, Marvel and DC want out of these box office numbers is what like Minecraft had. Think of the number that Minecraft made at the box office worldwide. Minecraft made like $940 million, like Doctor Strange 2 numbers, right? That's what they want. Not this bullshit of like, well, I made $600 million. Did you even break even? Who knows? Who fucking knows? Like, no, like obviously it's not good, And Fantastic Four is actually even worse than Superman. Keep in mind,
isn't the budget for low for Fantastic Four?
No, it's the same. It's the same.
I thought it was like 180.
It's basically the Flash. Flash's budget and this is budget the same. It's like $200 million, and it's like 125, I think, for marketing. So just to point out, you know that movie, The Flash, Ezra Miller, when it bombed, the break-even number that all the trades reported it need to make to break even, not make profit. It's what it need to break even. So you don't even make any money on it. It needed to make $700 million. Keep in mind, what other movie has a very similar budget to The Flash? Superman does. But Superman is actually closer to breaking even than Fantastic Four. Come on, The Flash needed $700 million to break even, and it made obviously fuck all nothing. Right? Fantastic Four's numbers are not good. It's not good. And what's crazy is you watched Thunderbolts, you liked it, I liked it, barring the issues obviously we're going to have with it. You're going to see Fantastic Four very soon because you're like, I'm waiting for Disney Plus. No reason for you to go watch it in theaters, obviously, because they already trained Warren. They got Warren. Like, I'm waiting for streaming.
I wondered how many people are like me now. And
the numbers prove a lot of people are like you now. The numbers prove everyone's waiting.
We were talking earlier. It's like it'd be interesting to know, like, is the reason why movies like Superman and then Fantastic Four go to like digital, how much money are they making on digital, and is it enough that it covers the difference? Like, what's Fantastic Four going to end at? So if it needs like 700 million, it ends at like 620, but they throw another 80 to 100 million on with digital sales. Well, now it's broke even, right? It's gotten past its goal. And
because Fantastic Four first steps, they said should end around 500 to 520. Come on, that's even lower. The statements for it got lower. Originally was 580, 590, dropped 70 million to 500 to like 520.
Well, after those big drops, after the big drops, I'm not surprised. But Marvel or Disney keeps their stuff in theater. Well, Superman's going to stay in theaters. It's just now you can get it at home too for $30. So,
or you go on the 7th season, type it into the internet and hit
enter. There's
allegedly, guys, type in Superman digital release date, movie upload. You guys know the lingo. So even with Superman, if we're gonna just talk about that one for just a moment here, this is a Fantastic Four video, but Superman itself, right, is gonna make less money than Man of Steel. I don't know why trades. I don't like Man of Steel. I don't think it's that good at all. There are some good aspects to it that I've highlighted before on here. I'm not a Zack Snyder fan, but I can highlight that Man of Steel has some good aspects to it. Very, very few of them. Very few. I'm talking like small violin of aspects right there, right? But Man of Steel will end up making more than Superman, James Gunn's Superman movie.
Barely.
Because Man of Steel ended, what, 660? So James Gunn's Superman movie is supposed to end around $600 million, 620, right? So
it depends. Like Is that the new number?
That's the
Because
new
I've heard before
estimate.
was like 660.
Yeah, originally it was actually going to be tied with Man of Steel, but now it's coming in lower. So we'll have to just wait until the numbers fully get totaled up when it's out of the theaters. But
Yeah.
we're at a point now that even Superman, which people said they like it, the reception is pretty good. If you outside of the Twitter echo chamber that it's trash, right? People like Superman. It's, I have my issues with it too, but overall, it's making decent money. Even that's still not enough, But Warner Bros. Is a little bit different. But we're gonna go over this. So we've mentioned this before. The MCU has did insurmountable damage to itself with these new phases. I'm talking really bad here. Let me make sure this is bigger, because as you guys know, bigger is better. Oh, wait. Your boy learned. It's already on 200%. That's why they call me a genius. MCU's Fantastic Four is in trouble at the box office, and experts explain why. No, I'm the expert. That's how it works here. And right here, Michael says, superhero movie fatigue is real, although I still enjoy watching, even despite the flaws. That's the thing. Everyone tried arguing with me that it doesn't exist, and I would ask them this basic question. Would you go watch this movie opening weekend between Thursday and Sunday? They would go, you know what, I'll just wait. That's right there. That right there is fatigue. Back in the day, that wasn't even a thought in your mind. You would just go. Now, life's changed over these years. Family, job, and all that shit, obviously. I'm not saying that things don't change from where your life is at in a franchise's lifespan versus where it's currently at. I'm not saying that. But this notion that people they're just going to wait for a movie to drop on streaming, right? Back in the day, you would just go and see it because you love this stuff that much. The love for something kind of goes away after a while. You're married for a while to a girl. After the honeymoon phase, you're like, her vagina was kind of good. I gave her some back shots, but she's just like the rest of the girls. Don't ever say that to your wife. She might actually beat you up. But this is not it's like that analogy that I gave some years ago. Superhero movies were like the hottest girl at school, the new girl. She's hot. Every guy wants to bang her. And then, another new girl comes in like a year later. She's the newest thing to, tap, right? And then people are like, oh, well, this other girl that came before her is not all that special. That's how it works. That's how these things have always worked. It was stupid for people to just blatantly ignore history and reality. Oh, no, but this will never not be popular. Then you're stupid, because that's literally, I'm being honest here, never how these things go. Everything always falls out of popularity. Even the most popular things have things in the franchise of long-running franchises that aren't as popular. Gundam, right? Gundam is a very popular Gundam series, but not every Gundam series is popular. No one could tell me the newest Gundam series that exists. Yeah, because you've probably fallen off of it. Pokemon. What's the newest Pokemon series? Oh, wait. We might know it exists. Who the fuck knows, right? But as you guys know, me being the top G, that's why I explain these things to you guys. When the Fantastic Four First Steps hit theaters on July 25th, 2025, Marvel Studios aimed high and largely delivered with its opening weekend box office haul. The film opened with $117.6 million domestically, marking Marvel's largest opening of the year, and brought in about $100 million internationally during its first weekend. That gave it a worldwide debut of approximately $218 million, well within projections of $190 to $210 million, but firmly above expectations. Its rollout began with Thursday evening previews, pulling in 24.4 million, the highest preview gross of 2025 so far, edging, no, not the edge you guys are thinking about, truly edging past the 2022 earned by Superman. The figure immediately signaled that anticipation among Marvel audiences was high for the beginning of Phase 6, especially for the MCU's long-awaited take on Marvel's first family. The film's opening day total reached $57 million, the second highest of the year behind only a Minecraft movie. These strong first day numbers, bolstered by the year's best preview haul, placed the film well within Marvel Studios' historical top-tier launches and set it up for a domestic debut of $117.6 million. That total made it the biggest opening weekend of 2025 for a Marvel release, and one of the year's top 5 debuts across all studios. While this impressive start positioned First Steps as a box office frontrunner, industry watchers also noted subtle signs that the film might be front-loaded. And that's all, but to be fair, that's all blockbusters. All blockbusters are front-loaded. Everyone that's going to watch it watches it opening week. And then it's just obviously word of mouth and repeat viewings. But what did I say? The top G, the genius here, the 200 IQ Shikamaru master. I even said, no need for Universal or Warner Brothers to worry about this film's box office. No reason at all. It's like what I used to say when I used to beat people in League. It's not even close, baby. I said, the box office numbers of previous MCU films should not even be considered because they've been very weak. Compared to DC's franchise launching Superman, which maintained stronger momentum through its first full weekend, Fantastic Four saw slightly sharper data declines after its preview night, a factor some analysts flagged early on as a possible indicator of a larger second weekend drop. Yeah, despite people apparently, let's use Twitter. People say on Twitter, the movie's not good, it's been blah, blah, blah. Superman has been performing very well. It's actually, even though it might not break even, it is consistently doing well. Like week in, week out, it's pulling in bigger numbers. You can't deny that. Now, is that because that's the new first movie in the franchise versus 37 films deep? All that plays into factors. But, just pointing out, Superman's been doing very, very well consistently week in and week out. In week 2, Fantastic Four First Steps maintained the number 1 spot, but suffered a 66% drop from its debut, bringing in $40 million domestically. This fall is among the steepest for a Marvel Cinematic Universe title in recent years, only slightly better than Captain America Brave New World, 68% second weekend drop earlier this year. God damn that. That movie just cratered.
Yeah.
The post-Endgame MCU theatrical releases have demonstrated the most significant drop-offs after opening weekend. The steepest declines of the 37 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are listed below. Click on each title to read more on each film's box office trends. So, obviously, this is just the trends from Phase 4 and 5 and all that shit. So, you have the highest, which is the Marvels. But that's to be expected, though. I said this was going to fail because no one liked Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has the worst word of mouth for an MCU movie probably ever in this franchise. And that's saying something because there's 37 of these motherfuckers. To have the worst word of mouth in 37 movies is horrible. That is bad. So the sequel obviously came out years later, was going to fail. So this is to be expected. That one is like, why'd you even release this, honestly? Quantumania, expected. If anyone saw that movie's trash. Brave New World, not the worst MCU movie, not the best. Rather just what would the kids say nowadays? It's mid. Yeah, it's just really just meh. It's just like So makes sense. Black Widow day and date release, and still had 60%. That's the starting movie of Far From Home is the start of Phase 4. So if you don't count that, Black Widow starting Phase 4, that's not good a sign either. Thor: Love and Thunder, well, that was dookie ass. Boo boo juice. Doctor Strange 2, not good. And Fantastic Four First Steps. So Fantastic Four First Steps has 2 less % than most of these. So we're getting there, boys. We're getting there. In addition to these being COVID-19 era releases and post-Endgame, there are other exceptions, including Spider-Man No Way Home, which had a similar drop-off, such a massive opening, and cleared almost $2 billion worldwide after its theatrical run, and Black Widow, which was tested as a Disney Plus premium release. Fantastic Spider-Man should even be considered among these. Like, even though, No Way Home obviously had a decent drop-off, but it's Spider-Man. It'll bounce back. It's just something that, like, okay, it's Spider-Man. It's going to bounce back no matter what, honestly. The Fantastic Four reboot grossed The Fantastic Four reboot grossed $11.7 million on its second Friday, marking a devastating 80% drop compared to its opening day. This sharp decline put the movie on track to fall short of its initial weekend 2 estimates of $45 to $52 million, ultimately landing closer to $40 million by Sunday. Yeah, this movie dropped 80% domestically after already dropping 66% after a second weekend. Disgusting. The Fantastic Four's First Steps overall totals update. We're going to look at that in just a moment here. So just bear with me in just a moment here. Going into its third week, Fantastic Four First Steps is tracking around $18 to $20 million as it goes up against new releases, Freakier Friday, and Weapons. The film is meant to kickstart Phase 6 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maintains a solid reception with an 86% Critics score on Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, blah, 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 blah. Critics and audiences have praised its retro-futuristic 1960s aesthetic and the chemistry of its cast, though pacing and underdeveloped subplots have been listed as drawbacks, noted for serving as a fresh start of sorts for moviegoers unable to keep up with the MCU homework. The larger connected universe and the concept of phases have never been more confusing. I mean, did anybody even know what phase this movie was on? If I didn't tell you it was phase 6, would you have known? You probably
I
wouldn't
think they didn't even. I think they didn't even declare it the start of Phase 6 officially until like a week before the movie came out.
Yeah, remember with Thunderbolts, it rebranded itself as the New Avengers second weekend to get a box office kick.
Yeah,
why didn't they just call it the New Avengers to begin with? Crazy,
yeah,
crazy, just so desperate. Like, to see them this desperate, it's like if you're gonna call the New Avengers, people know there's a comic series called the New Avengers. Just call it that. No, but we gotta surprise the audience. Oh, just, stop it. Get some
we
help.
are Avengers with the Z.
Industry
Be the
analysts
heroes on the Weedy box.
Industry analysts point to a mix of brand perception, audience demographics, and franchise fatigue as factors in the Fantastic Four First Step's second weekend performance. Scott Mendelson, box office columnist at Puck News and expert on the Outside Scoop, believes the Marvel Cinematic Universe is increasingly playing to its established fan base rather than attracting a broad audience. He compares it to the later Hunger Games and Twilight sequels, which made huge money without necessarily being event movies for the general public, as he explains. This is his quote. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is becoming a for fans only affair for regular moviegoers. The event movies of the moment are Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth, F1. So, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you got a point there. Yeah. Mendelson also pointed out to me the franchise's baggage. He notes that Fantastic Four has always been middle of the road as a property, and that this new MCU version has been mostly selling itself as, oh, it's another Fantastic Four movie, rather than a fresh must-see event. I agree with that. I do believe the marketing for this movie didn't do it any justice. I think Marvel thought just because they're pretty known characters, it'll just sell itself. I even said that too. If you bring out known characters, it will get you money. But you need to do more than that. We live in a day and age in movies. You got to do a little bit more than that. You got to really tell people why you should invest their time into watching this. Oh, wait, you can't. Because that's Pedro fucking Pascal in this dog shit.
Well,
not
you
the movie.
Mentioned it before that Doom should have played a bigger role in it. And
set up for Doomsday. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. And if we're being honest, since this is the first movie and the only movie we get before Doomsday, it should have been an event movie that sets up Phase 6 and what we're going to be seeing in Doomsday and in Secret Wars. And you do that by introducing Doom, and like really introducing Doom. But then again, it goes back to what we were talking about on Wednesday. How much of this is just them speeding everything up because of what happened with Jonathan Majors? Because why isn't Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom in Fantastic Four? Like, that would have been a great movie to bring him in.
Mm-hmm. Brandon Katz of Greenlight Analytics and Observer tells me that audience composition data reinforces this idea. Superman's audience skewed older, resonating more with men over the age of 35, while Fantastic Four over-indexed with men under 35, a narrower demographic slice. According to Katz, this meant the film struggled to attract ticket buyers outside of committed Marvel fans, which contributed to the steep second weekend drop. Yeah, men over 35 probably aren't, lining up beside me to go see Pedro Pascal. Sorry. He's not a box office draw. I really don't know why he's Reed Richards. Even when I watch the movie, and I like the movie, I do, I still couldn't think to myself, damn, I just can't buy this guy's Reed Richards. Katz also observes that even strong reviews can't fully overcome audience fatigue. Yeah, because let's be honest here, general audiences, do they really care that much about what a movie's like critical score is on Rotten Tomato, even if it's critics or audience? Like, what person do you know before they go to a movie goes, you know what, this got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, probably not watching this? No one does that. I've really never seen someone do that. I don't think they care that much, right?
Yeah.
He says general audiences are saying that more of the same, even when well made and well received, is not necessarily enough to get folks in theaters. He adds that while the Fantastic Four joining the MCU created an opening weekend boost, the film's nature as a loose remake of Rise of the Silver Surfer undercut its novelty. In contrast, Superman was marketed as a completely new take, which helped broaden its appeal beyond core fans. Also, Superman's marketing was way better. Superman's marketing was insane, actually. Like, I can't even think of anything good Marvel did with the marketing of this movie. It was like, oh, go see Fantastic Four. All right. Fucking hell. The 66% second weekend decline falls squarely in the middle of Phase 5 range between Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, and right alongside Captain America Brave New World. According to our exclusive data from Diesel Labs, Marvel's second weekend drops average about 63 compared to 53% for non-Marvel action adventure films. Then there's a bunch of quotes here. A bunch of people keep going through. And then we get to the final end of it, which is with a worldwide total of about $382 million at the time of publication, almost evenly split between domestic and international, First Steps has yet to reach the rough break-even point, often estimated at 2.5 to 3 times its reported $200 million production budget. While the drop may be difficult for Marvel, the real question is whether the studio can re-engage general audiences with fresher ideas and more accessible storytelling, or if the formula must rely on top-tier characters, nostalgia, and crossovers. 2026 brings just that with Spider-Man Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, which are $1 billion shoo-ins. What comes next, though, may require a collaboration in expectations and budgeting. Oh, they do have to budget better. Like, that is,
Well, you're talking about in the future, some of these movies are going to have to be like $150 million budgets and stay capped at that, with maybe like a $50 million marketing, where like their overall is at 400. Like, we need 400 million to break even. That is, geez, it's like you really start cutting a little bit at all.
Doomsday budget is insane. Hopefully you were. I'm not saying you were wrong, but if
I hope I am wrong.
But if you are not wrong, burn this whole company to the ground. Actually, just start over.
I hope I am wrong. But
so here was an interesting quote right here from, I think it was Mendelsohn, who's pretty based, honestly. If Marvel's brand is damaged to the point where they can't spawn hit films from new to cinema properties, then they will be stuck recycling the 2010 MCU franchises. Yeah, it's possible. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, if they can't take these new characters, which is all post-Endgame has been, and make them franchisable, then they just keep recycling Chris Evans as Captain America.
Yeah.
Like people said to Hugh Jackman, like, you're going to be doing this to your 90.
So, I agree with a lot of what the quotes here. Like, one of them basically said the hype was kind of unwarranted. I don't know about that. I think if you watch the trailers, I think the hype was something there. I think the trailers did a decent job. They didn't spoil the entire movie, which is good. But you could have also argued they did. If you watch those trailers, you're pretty much seeing the entire movie itself. So here's the updated numbers for the Fantastic Four First Steps. Domestically, $238 million. Internationally, $204 million. Oh, geez. Fuck. It's screwed.
Well, it's not going to come out in digital for like, what, probably another month? Because Disney doesn't.
And even that won't save it for making profit. Even that's not going to save it.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
They would have to make like $200 million plus digitally.
We have to remember it's different digitally because,
theater cuts too. Theaters get 50% of that box office.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's doubled to break even, because they're only getting about 50% of the cash, if not less. So that's one of the things that's interesting about digital, because with digital, they're probably getting closer to 95% of the cash. So, $100 million digital dollars worth of digital sales means that they're getting most of that 100 million. So I'm wondering if it's if digital sales are now compensating enough where these studios are like, well, yeah, we may be 200 million from our break even, but we're going to go get 100 million from there, and that's worth 200 million in the box office. So I don't know for sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because by all tradition, Superman's a flop, like you said, but yet no one's acting like it's a flop. You don't hear about heads
So
rolling
weird.
at Warner Brothers. You
Yeah.
don't hear about people pissed off. Hell, they're dropping it. They dropped it on digital in 30 days. So
Before
it's like,
Peacemaker season 2 comes out,
yeah.
Peacemaker season 2 comes out like what in about like a week, I think. It drops.
So
Yeah.
it begs the question: how important is the box office to the
Yeah.
end of the day figures for these movies to these studios?
Even the marketing budget for the Fantastic Four first steps is estimated, so it could be lower, could be higher, around 170. That means this movie cost $370 million to make. What did they spend that money on? I'll say the CGI did look pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But Vanessa Kirby's stomach with that baby needs some money. So.
Well, did they do resale? Did they do reshoots? Did they have to redo the script in any way?
The brand partnerships. So from what I'm checking out right here, a lot, because I've seen it on my Little Caesars box too. Joke. I'm not kidding.
Oh yeah, Little Caesar had a whole pizza that was themed just like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
I tried it. Yeah. It was terrible.
Of course. Oh no, I just saw the box. I bought the regular pizza and I just saw the box. No, so a lot of the brand partnerships and promotions, a substantial portion of the marketing efforts involved collaborations with major brands like Little Caesars, Zillow, Pop-Tarts, General Mills, and Citizen Watches. Okay. And social media engagement, all this stuff. I just don't know. Like, what they spent that much money on this movie. How is this not a failure? And people on Twitter are like, but it made its money back. It literally, this shit is in the red. Okay, so it made its budget back. It made its budget back. Marketing it hasn't. So what did we say? It's $200 million plus 217. I'll have to do a fucking calculator. Holy shit. I can't do this. 200 plus what did I say? 170? Did I say 170?
So it'd be 370.
Yeah, did I say 170? Okay, well, let's just say 170. Holy fuck. Good lord, I'm a little retarded. I actually times it. What's a plus? Oh my god. Math in here. It's 370. So if you use what's the rough even? It's times 2. Let's type in 2.5.
740.
They're screwed. Burn us all. There's no way. Okay, to be fair, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at on my screen. So I did the math right here. So I'll just go back. No, there's no porn on here, guys. Sorry. So it's one. So it's 3. Okay, so we're going to do 200. We're going to do the basic calculator. 200 plus 170 equals 370, okay? Times, because it's times the budget. So let's put 2 in. It would need $740 million to break even. God damn, what are you doing, Marvel? And this film currently right now is at 442. That's just a failure. I'm sorry. That's
just probably gonna break like 520 by the time it gets done.
It'll do 100. Let's say it'll do a lot on digital. That would still not. That means they made no money doing this movie at all. Absolutely, they made as much influence on my dad had in my life. Nothing. It's crazy. How do budgets balloon this bad? They need to control their budgets. That's why we're hearing for X-Men, they're hiring like unknown actors and they're trying to keep costs down. I love how going into Phase 7 after bombing with a lot of these movies, they're like, now we got to keep costs down. Yes, Marvel, at Phase 7, let's just start cost cutting.
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, apparently, someone, they definitely had a meeting somebody did with Kevin Feige and figured out, like, hey, we're on a runaway train right now. Budgets are blowing up. We don't know what the new cap on the market is. Like, what are you guys doing?
They overspent on this movie. Where'd the money go to? The cast?
Well,
You paid
like
Pedro Pascal that much money?
Well, no, like, I don't know. Like 170 million on promotion is insane.
That is insane.
So, 200 million seems about right for what these movies are budget wise.
You know what's
But
crazy?
170.
They have YouTube channels. Why don't they use their YouTube channel to promote movies? Their channel, literally, if they did it right, would get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watching if they did it right. That's how you market your movies. Use your actors to do it. Like, $170 million to market. That is, it's insane. It's so bad.
You take the Thing actor, put him on a podcast like Joe Rogan. You get 11 million people talking about Fantastic Four.
Right?
So you know what I mean? Like, that's free advertisement. So there is, they really need, like you said, they need to really put a reins on this stuff, because if you're doing $150 million budget with a $50 million marketing budget, then you're talking about a $400 million just to break even. That seems to be a better range for Marvel films right now, like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. But the thing is, though, Fantastic Four shouldn't be, because it's kind of a tentpole, even though it had bad movies in the past. I'm not going to say some bad movies.
You think the Fox movies damaged this movie's reception because they were just that bad?
I don't want to say that, because I have a soft spot in my heart for the Fox movies. They
were never received well ever.
They weren't. I like that first. I like the first one, even though it's not that good. It's just they were trying really hard.
It's the moment he tried to pick up his It's the
I love that moment.
Oh God!
Oh, that's such a good moment.
God. Oh goodness gracious! But yeah, we'll get your closing thoughts on this. Fantastic Four First Steps is a fantastic flop. I'm sorry, guys. It's over. This burned. Yeah, it's done. I'm sorry. There's no way, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how much money it makes in the peripheral, like afterwards, but you're talking about, just when you're talking about movie budget, box office standards, it's a flop. You can't get around it.
But the average idiot is going to be like, but it made like $40 million. Yeah, fuck. I guess if you're retarded, then I'll be retarded. I'll let you be retarded, but I won't be retarded. How about that? People got to just understand. My brain works in different ways.
Yeah. If you wanted to play super positive, optimistic person, you could say Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, quality-wise, is a good steps in the right direction. But the reality of the box office is how much of the brand is too hurt and how much of the overall box office is dead, so.
And, as you guys know, for myself, this is what happens when you dump bad movies for God knows what, like. Since Far From Home ends phase 3 and Black Widow begins phase 4, they've dropped, good Lord, bad movies for like 4 years straight. TV shows too. Those get counted too. Talk about literally turboing your brand from up here to just.
I think the TV shows hurt them more than the movies did.
That shit was ass. Those shits were bad. Oh, and keep in mind, they released new. Did you guys know they released Eyes of Wakanda? You probably didn't, because you probably just gave up on this godforsaken franchise.
Dude, the only reason why I know Eyes of Wakanda even exists is because someone put a couple of clips on TikTok when I was desk strolling one night. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Eyes of Wakanda?
No marketing for it, nothing.
Nothing. Just drop it.
They just threw it all. Same like Echo. They just threw it all. They didn't even give it a weekly release. They just threw it all in there. So, yeah. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. Before we get to the next topic, Michael wanted me to answer something. Oh, God.
Oh, I was going to say, just let's go right into it.
I will say this. Start with Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1, Married with Children by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. To start with that one. It's not in the main Marvel 616 universe. And
but it's a really, really good Spider-Man story.
It's very good. It's very, very good. It costs currently right now, I'm bringing it up. Also, Volume 2 is out too. So if you like Volume 1, you could just go and get Volume 2. You can buy them both, honestly. When does Volume 3 come out? Volume 3 comes out September 23rd.
Oh, okay.
That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Do you like Gundam?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I watched a couple of the movies and I like the models, but that's about it.
Okay, someone around here was a huge Gundam fan. I literally couldn't remember who the fuck it was.
I like putting the models together.
I think a Savage Daddy likes Gundam. Fucking hell. All you guys just blend in together at a single point.
Oh, wow. All of us white dudes just look the same to you.
White! God. Yeah, just buy this right here. This is in Marvel's current new Ultimate Universe. Don't even think about any of that. Literally just buy this. This is like, if you buy it with Amazon Prime, it's like $12 with free shipping. So it's gonna be easy for you. This is only 6 issues of the first arc, and I finished reading this in like an hour and 30 minutes. I read slowly, but this is, I dropped my review of it on my comic book channel, but I think if you're a person who's never read a Spider-Man comic book before, now keep in mind, people know I had Spider-Man comics growing up, like very few of them, and those are the only comics I had growing up because we were given to them by a newspaper subscription that my mom had, and then when that ran out, we didn't get any more. But I remember just getting those, just absolutely loving them. I treated them like a weekly thing that I would get, and I would read them, get a completed story, and just love it. Honestly, I read the first book where he faced Lizard, Electro. What was the other one I had? Did I have the one with Vulture? I remember I had Electro and Lizard were the ones I know I had. The other ones I had an Ultimate Guide. The very first thing I was ever given for comics was a Spider-Man villain guide. It's like one of those small little guides like this. That pretty much got me into the journey of comics right there. And then the Spider-Man comics I got weekly from the newspaper subscription that my mom had were obviously there. And then I bought like the big Ultimate Guide for Spider-Man. I think I got it like a book fair in 6th grade. I was in love with like Spider-Man 2099. What the fuck is that? That's why I saw. I was like, who the fuck is this? This is cool as hell. This Peter and MJ got married. I was like, crazy. Spider-Man craze is big back then for me. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3 just came out, and who knows how I feel about that movie. I've read Spider-Man panels, but not the whole comic. I know many of the storylines are my favorite. What's another fan favorite? Probably Don't Buy One More Day. That'll probably, fucking good lord. What's another Spider-Man book I would always recommend to people?
I'm a fan of Superior, but not many people are.
That's the Dan Slott book.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like the kind of idea of a villain beating Spider-Man and kind of being Spider-Man when he wins, that's not a bad book. I think you could get that in trades, but Michael said he likes to kind of have, I don't know, this is the problem. Do you like bigger books or do you like smaller books that kind of get you there, but you have to buy the individual volumes? Superior Spider-Man has a omnibus out. I don't know if there's a volume 2 out yet, because Marvel does that bullshit of like the release of volume 1 and then could take 10 years to get a fucking volume 2. So I wouldn't want you buying a volume 1, but and then the volume 2 comes out like 10 years later. That would suck. But I would say start with this. Just start with that. Read that. I know you'll like it. That shit is fucking too good. That shit is too good, like fish good. Oh, good lord! I would all no. You're too grasshopperish. I have to teach you the ways of the MSK. Actually, no. Yeah. Just Superior Spider-Man have a. I mean, there's Ultimate Spider-Man. There's another Ultimate Spider-Man. There's an epic collection that they put out for Brian Michael Bendis's original Ultimate Spider-Man. So. Did you guys ever?
Good, by the way.
That video game. There was an Ultimate Spider-Man video game that came out that flopped.
I remember that. Yeah,
it was crazy. That game was that game was cool. No sales. No sales. That's what they did. Yeah. No sales. But they did do an epic collection for Ultimate Spider-Man. So I'll just point you this way. We'll just have you start with the alternate, which is bad, but fucking who cares, honestly. You played that? Yeah, they were supposed to be tied to the comic books. So that's not that one. That's a different. That's like Ultimate Spider-Man 2, essentially. You could get. Okay, so this is the Epic Collection. So this is the Epic Collection that Marvel came out with for the original Ultimate Spider-Man, written by Brian Michael Bendis. If you get this costs like $25, but this is it covers the first 13 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. This is a volume, so it's the very first book, and it's gonna get a volume 2 and a 3 at some point. But that for this kind of thing, you want to make sure if it's Epic Collection, you get the volume 1. And this is fine if you want the Ultimate Spider-Man that corresponds to that game. That's this book. Now you can get the trade. The trade exists here too. Wait, which is cheaper? So the trade paperback. Let's go paperback 1. That's different. It's the same book. But this is the trade, which is cheaper. Well, you buy this. Technically, I would say to buy this off eBay. eBay's cheaper with this. Yeah, okay, so get the Epic Collection. Fuck what I just said there. If you want to get that, get this on eBay, because always go between eBay and Amazon. If you want this, go to eBay, because they're overpriced here. But if you want the Ultimate Spider-Man video game you had, that's this right here. And they're releasing a volume 2 for it coming up very soon, so you will not have to wait for a volume 2 for too long. So just Ultimate Spider-Man Epic Collection Learning Curve volume 1, and then you get volume 1 of the other one, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. Peak is coming. So, Warren, have you ever had sex with a woman?
It's been a while, but yes, I have.
Me, I haven't. So thanks for rubbing it in, you bastard. God. Yeah, that one corresponds with the video game, but I heard the reason why he didn't play out the storyline from the video game is because the video game did not sell very well. I don't know why it didn't. If you look back on it, it's a fine game. But that happens. Just because you put out something quality doesn't mean it's going to get the sales. People automatically assume because it was quality that it means it just did very well. It's like, no, it's not how that works, honestly. If it did, we'd be filthy fucking rich because, this show would be rolling in dough. I'd have sponsors up the ass, honestly. All right. Let's go straight into it. Yeah. At the end of the game, after you beat it, you can play it. You can be Black as Venom and Smash. I think that's one of the few Spider-Man games where you can actually play as Venom, right? Yeah, you really can't play as Venom in most Spider-Man games, but that one I know you can. So yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man Epic Collection Volume 1 or Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1 Married with Children, or you get both. If you want the one from your childhood, that's the Epic Collection one. There's also omnibuses, but I forgot you're broke and you're white, so you can't get those. You're not on that level yet, Michael. I'm joking. No, you probably could have enough money for those. I love Michael. I want to give him lots of hugs. Give me one second here. For Batman, I know you said Batman was your favorite DC comics here. I think you said that. That would be fucking hell.
Court of Owls.
You could say Absolute Batman. The newest hardcover just dropped, or trade. Just get I think get that one or that one. That's literally the easiest thing I can say. Absolute Batman just started. You can just get that. The trade just dropped, covering the first arc, or you could get the DC Compact Comics Batman: The Court of Owls. All those things are like the compact comic is $10. That's like a manga size full arc.
Yeah, if you get the compact comic Court of Owls, that's it. I would suggest that to anyone who hasn't read Batman or likes Batman and wants to read a comic. The Court of Owls storyline is amazing.
This shit is so good. It's so crazy how that still might be the best Batman story they've released in.
There've been some good ones though. So
yeah, do you remember the story called Going Sane? Joker when he thought he killed Batman. Oh, damn, fucking hell. Yeah, Batman. You can find so many good, great, cheap Batman stuff. Okay, so here we'll do it one time for Michael. Then we'll go straight to the topic. I know Warren. Let's get a topic. One. We'll do one. Here, DC. Oh my God. Butt fuck me in the ass, please, Warren. God damn.
No.
It's not Tuesday.
I want dinner and a movie first.
God.
I'm not no cheap whore.
It's not Tuesday. So here, DC Compact Comic, just get this one. And this is basically, I've mentioned this 1,000 times. Essentially, long story short, these are manga-sized comic books for DC characters, story arcs, and completed runs. So you would get the entire Court of Owls saga in this book, $10. I know it says 8, but it's shipping, so I'm including that in there. That's it. $10. You're in. Or if you want to follow along with what the current thing is right now, this is Absolute Batman. Absolute Batman just dropped on hardcover and trade. So the hardcover is $25. I prefer it hardcover. But the trade is about $13, give or take, who you buy it from. So, and this just started. So you're not missing out on anything. So let's have some fun here. Do you guys want to get into some feisty business? Like making love to each other?
Some business.
God, I hate people. Okay, so we're going to start right after this fire truck passes through. Or a police car. Damn police cars. Yeah, so those are where you want to start for Batman and Spider-Man. But I'm pretty sure you'll probably read the Ultimate Spider-Man one first, the Epic Collection, because, that's close to the video game you played, which is fine. And it's weird. It's one of the I think it's the only it's one of the few superhero video games that where they actually try to tie it to a comic book. And it failed. That sucks. That actually sucks so bad. The one time they try it, they're like, you know what? It didn't work. We must now never do it again. God damn it. God damn it, people. Oh, yeah. Congrats, Emily. She's almost at 700 subs. All right.
Outstanding.
Now, you got to pump those numbers up, Emily. Those are rookie numbers to the God King myself. Also, EVS is just a fat piece of shit. Labs comic fan asked me, why don't I like EVS? Because he's fat, ugly, retarded, drama-baiting bitch. Just a horrible human being. Is there a reason why I wouldn't like him? That's the funny thing. Is there any reasons why I would like the guy? Shit. So few far in between, am I right? So
you are right.
I don't know. If someone said name something good about EVS, I literally couldn't. I'm like, he draws somewhat good. Fuck, like, God damn. Let's go. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about James Gunn's Superman movie that is the first installment in the DCU. So the DCU begins with James Gunn's Superman movie, and it is doing relatively okay at the worldwide box office. Now, there is an ongoing discussion around, is the movie actually going to end up beating Man of Steel at the worldwide box office, or if it's even going to be profitable in general. It's looking like it might not actually do either one of those things currently, because this movie, as much as I did enjoy watching it, both Warren and myself watched the movie, we liked it, barring the issues I had with it. This movie is now going to be getting released on digital and physical coming up very soon. Now, did they fast track the digital release and physical release date of this movie because it's not doing as well at the worldwide box office that they originally intended? Because the studio can be like, we're fine with $500 million. Really? Are you? The budget for this movie is roughly around what Fantastic Four First Steps is. Now, the difference between this one and that one is several different things. First one is this one actually has had way better momentum than Fantastic Four First Steps. It's actually gradually doing pretty well consistently. But the numbers for it, overall when it's done, is still going to be, hopefully, not as bad or either worse than what we thought initially was going to do. Because this movie is looking like it's not going to be able to even beat Man of Steel at the box office. And there's different connotations to this. So with Man of Steel is the beginning of DC trying out a cinematic universe, right? And the box office, let's say trends of back then, so like 12 years ago, are way different than they are now. Like the theater attendance back then was much more lucrative and going upwards this way than it is right now. Now, is that an excuse for the box office being not as good as what they hoped? No, but I'm just pointing out there is a asterisk to that too. Like, are we going to compare box office performance from 12 years ago, which was like the beginning of the superhero craze as we know it, versus right now where it's kind of like on the downward? Like this movie is coming out in a downward trajectory for the superhero genre. It's not in this like zeitgeist point of view that it was in years ago, right? Now, the movie's reception is good. We can tell from the average attendance of this movie, it's good. There's good attendance here. The problem with this movie is that it came out in a time period where people just kind of could take superhero movies, or like, what's the old saying? They could take it or leave it. So they could literally just take it or leave it with superhero movies at this point. DC is kind of doing, like for the League podcast, we talked about like that rebrand that the LCS did. So it's kind of similar to that. The Riot Games rebranded the LCS in 2025, hoping to garner people the same way that League did back in the day, right? And that's what DC has done for this movie. DC has basically rebranded, new universe, fresh start, decanonized the old universe, and said, we're going to start fresh in 2025. Based off of how superhero movie fatigue has been hitting, that's not going to be potentially something that they're hopefully going to see toward the very end of it, right? Because the way superhero movie fatigue is Supergirl going to do as well? What movies after Supergirl? Clayface, I think,
Yeah, so, Clayface.
So,
well, Clayface is a horror movie too. So,
horror.
Like if it does 300, like if what we're thinking is correct, it's going to be a low budget, like 50 million, 80 million bucks, and it does like 300 million, like a really high end rated R movie, horror film. It could probably be a success, but that's not really breaking the bank either. So I'm not 100% sure. We're what's worried is like how well is Supergirl going to do? Like what's the ceiling on that movie?
Yeah, and the other thing to also bring that up as your point is, with superhero movie fatigue largely looming in, I want people to understand this. There's going to be exceptions to the rule. So let's use Marvel's movies coming out next year. Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday. Those are what people are saying are billion-dollar shoo-ins. That is the exception to the rule. That isn't the rule, right? Now, looking at the average superhero movie, it's going to eventually just plateau at maybe a superhero movie's max box office is going to be where Superman's trending to. Max $600 million potentially by the end of its run. Or they may just cap out at $500 million. If that's not fatigue, then I really don't know what is. People say, but it's bad movie fatigue. There have been good movies that have come out, and you guys still don't watch them, so we know it's fatigue. What other possible reason could it be? When this movie drops on physical, let's say I go to my local Walmart with my wife, and she's like, oh my God, MSK, I know your cock is so big. Can you please get me the newest Superman movie on DVD, and then I'll blow you with your cock hitting the back of my throat? And I'm like, all right, honey, let's go and get it. So we're going to go to Walmart, obviously, get this movie, Netflix and chill, and then obviously have sex as we watch this movie. Do you believe that's going to happen?
No.
Awesome. Hell yeah. So looking at what has happened, August 15th is a huge day for Superman fans. I will say this movie did one good thing. It kind of sort of reignited people kind of being interested in Superman comics to some very small degree, which is very hard. There's usually no overlap in any of this shit, honestly. Also, they hired a really, really hot actress in Rachel Brosnahan. Man, I put my fucking face in that bitch's ass. Suck all her shit out. Fucking hell. We will be talking about that bitch and what she's been doing as a trifling ass hoe in a future video, honestly. Oh, she's been being a pure thought. Oh, we caught her in all her glory. The Superman movie has finally landed a digital release date as James Gunn confirms it in a new DC Universe update. The Man of Steel made a triumphant return to the big screen in 2025 with the Superman movie from Gunn starring David Corenswet as the titular hero for the DCU franchise. And guys, this movie itself, I don't know why people are considering this a success. This movie itself is going to be deemed a box office disappointment. Flop? Could argue it. Gunn Superman movie has officially become the highest grossing Superman film in the US, as the DCU installment has collected $331.3 million domestically. Internationally, Superman has grossed $247.8 million, with its worldwide box office sitting at $579.1 million in total. As of August 12th, 2025, Superman has been in theaters for over a month, and Gunn has now confirmed on X that the DCU release will be available on VOD starting on Friday, August 15th. Check out the full announcement below. His tweet goes like this: Superman is coming to your homes this Friday on August 15th, available now for pre-order or catch it while it's still in theaters. And this is not just a Superman issue. This is an issue with the movie industry all across the board. If you want people to go to the movie theaters in mass like they did regularly before, streaming and all this bullshit, you need to give them a reason to go. And a very big reason why they don't go is because people now know the trends. They can literally just wait for a movie to come out on whatever streaming service is corresponding with whatever company that owns the movie, right? Or they can literally just wait until the movie is out of the theaters in 4 weeks, 3 weeks minimum. Movies could literally be on digital in 3 weeks. That's crazy. Why would you even go? What's the incentive, right? What is from a consumer point of view, you save a lot of money not going to see all these movies. According to Warner Bros. Discovery, Superman will be available on 4K, UHD, Blu-ray, and DVD from online and physical retailers as of September 23rd. The release of Superman on digital will come 35 days after its theatrical run began. Participating digital retailers will also continue to sell Superman through high definition and standard definition. The Superman digital 4K UHD and Blu-ray are also set to come with multiple exciting featurettes that give a deeper look into Gunn's 2025 installment. While the digital release will come with deleted scenes, a gag reel, like my wife, she gags on my cock, and director's commentary with Gunn, the home media release will include the following. So you get all of these on digital. So people were confused. So you're getting right here on digital all of this, right? All this shit. But they said, but people were like, well, we're not getting that in the home release. No, the home release will still have some of this stuff. I would imagine it's going to be a little bit different, but you get all of this stuff right here. You get Crypto Saves the Day, Adventures in Making Superman, all this stuff that is, this kind of stuff was the best things about owning physical media. After you watch the movie, you dive into all this stuff and it takes you on a journey about how they made the movie. Even with bad movies, it was fascinating to see like all the creative people just talk about making it and everything. Oh, it was amazing. With all of the DC Easter eggs and references in Superman, many of these featurettes are bound to explore them even more, allowing general audience members to get more details about the comic teases. Gunn shared on Threads on August 4th that he was in the process of recording the director's commentary for Superman. While many see this as an early release, in particular for digital, Superman has had a good box office run, and digital purchases are bound to factor into the film's success too. It still remains to be seen when Superman will make its debut on HBO Max, as that has not been announced yet. Following the Superman post-credit scene, it remains to be seen where the Man of Tomorrow will be seen next in the DCU franchise. But for now, as Superman gets ready for its video on demand and home media release, fans can soon finally own 2025's most commercially successful superhero film. So, you gonna be do you still even buy physical media like DVDs or TV show seasons? No way, I don't think so.
No, I mean I used to. Like one of the reasons why I bought my PS5 was that it had a disc drive, and I was going to be able to play 4K Blu-rays. But then I went out to buy them, and like Target doesn't sell them anymore. Walmart barely, they sell them, but they barely have anything there.
Best
It's
Buy
even
cut
hard to
down on them
find
too.
shit on Amazon for 4K Ultra HD there, or even Blu-rays. So I end up mostly buying my stuff through Prime digitally, which is I hate doing
Oh yeah,
because I don't own it. But being through Prime, I can watch it on anything then. But I'm not gonna buy. Like, I'm not even gonna buy it. I love Superman. I'm not gonna buy it for $30. I'll wait till it comes out on Blu-ray in September, and then I'll pick it up digitally for
Black Friday sale.
$16.99.
Pick it up for
Or
$10.
yeah, pick it up for like $10 or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But that's the way I'm gonna do it. But what's interesting though is like they mentioned in the article. Let's say Superman ends off at 600 million. Well, they only get about 300 million of that through ticket sales, right?
Yeah.
Well, then the budget and the marketing was 350. So all they have to do digitally at that point would be to make $50 million. And now they have broke even. So I wonder, I tried looking up on Google digital sales, and there's no one really tracking them. So it would be interesting to see how much,
if it's ever revealed, and it's a truly lucrative market on digital sales. Because the only place that I know that tracks them is like Apple. Originally, when I was doing like box office series episodes weekly, they would have like you could type of like top 10 digital sales. I think only Apple ever showed that, but it never showed like actual numbers. Like, what are the numbers that this is selling? I remember, I think it was I think they used to do it back in the day, but they stopped all those websites because they didn't want people knowing how much money they made digitally. Because I remember at one point they did it for physical release movies, and I think it was The Conjuring or BVS was like one of the highest selling like 4K steel books out there. So Superman's box office potential of hitting $1 billion just got a devastating blow. Who thought this film was going to hit $1 billion?
There was some people being super hopeful.
Yeah,
like they were hoping that this was going to be. Well, it used to be, if it was successful, a character like this, it would be $1 billion. But now that doesn't happen anymore.
You dropped this. I swear, you dropped this movie back in like 2018, and they restarted in 2018 after just basically just getting rid of all that bullshit with Snyder. This movie does numbers, I would imagine.
If you take out Man of Steel and put in James Gunn's Superman in at that date, this would have been a $1.3 billion movie.
Good job, Warner Brothers. I hate you so much sometimes. Superman's $1 billion box office potential just took a major blow thanks to the latest update about the DCU movie. Though recent years have provided a state of flux for the superhero genre in more than one way, Superman's results have suggested DC is on a steady new track thanks to its positive results. Having garnered positive reviews evidenced by an 83% tomato meter and 91% popcorn meter on Rotten Tomatoes and a healthy box office. Yeah, that's just fucking lie. Superman has set the stage for the DC Universe timeline in a promising manner. However, it seems the higher box office hopes for the film are less likely than ever to come to pass, given the latest news about Superman. Superman's theatrical run, beginning in mid-July, suggested to many that the film's digital release would be towards the end of 2025. It's common for superhero movies to wait several months before becoming available outside of the cinema, both to garner the best box office results for the film in question and to build hype for a digital or streaming release. However, this is not the case for Superman. James Gunn confirmed via Threads that Superman's digital release is August 15, 2025, a decision that's notable because it's only just over a month after Superman's cinematic debut, meaning there's a far shorter window of time between these releases that may have otherwise been expected. As such, the window of time in which audiences have to go to the cinema to see Superman is also naturally shortened. from the point of Superman's digital release, viewers will be able to watch the film in the comfort of their own home and thus are drastically less likely to go to the theaters and add to Superman's box office. Yeah, because this is the thing that a lot of people forget to understand. You give people the option of just staying at home and having a cheaper option readily available to them, which is what streaming eventually did, but just not originally up front. They'll take that option. People are more willing to wait now. That's just how people are. This looks as though this will effectively end any major box office developments from this point, even though the movie will still be in theaters. This is interesting since Superman's reception has been positive, whereas superhero movies that come out quickly after their theatrical release tend to be the ones that have fared far worse in the public eye. Currently, Superman's overall worldwide box office sits at $581 million, which is a major feat for 2025 especially, but a long way off the loftiest estimations of what the DCU's film's box office could be. Though Superman is now the highest grossing superhero movie of 2025, the digital release update cements the idea that the DCU movie will be unable to break the $1 billion mark. Anyone that says this movie is going to be $1 billion, you're a crackhead. Or mirror Guardians of the Galaxy's $770 million results. That said, Superman's current box office appears to have been more than enough for the movie's director. James Gunn commented previously that Superman never needed to be a box office monolith. I just disagree with that entirely. Instead, the focus was on the idea that it needed to do a solid job of solidifying, setting the tone for the DC universe. James, you know this can do both, right? A movie can do very well at the box office and also set the tone. And on establishing lore for the world and those within it. As such, Superman's current box office is clearly not a failure. That's a lie. That is a fucking lie, and I'll prove it right now. Even if it's a huge way off the most hopeful estimations for its financial results, its box office is still notably higher than any Marvel movie released during this time. Yeah, that's not a fucking accomplishment. Who thought any MCU movie would challenge this? I didn't. I called it here. It ain't even close. Don't have to worry about those movies. Despite the MCU's historical dominance, which is impressive given Superman's box office, appears to have been less of a priority. While there's still a chance Superman will break the $600 million mark, it'll be interesting to see if the movie reaches this milestone. It won't. It's not $1 billion. If to hit $1 billion, it would have needed to have come out swinging at like what Minecraft did. Or if it remains around the higher side of $500 million. Either way, Superman's digital release now takes the focus onto another financial world, namely domestic sales. But that doesn't count for box office, though. Like, a digital revenue is a completely separate stream from box office. So if it's successful digitally, that's great. But that doesn't mean it was successful box office-wise. Unless you're talking about straight-up fan reception, which is a success in a different way. Although the world of non-box office sales is generally not as lucrative as a movie's theatrical release, there's still notable money in this side of the industry. For example, Iron Man made almost $200 million in terms of its DVD and Blu-ray sales, and newer films like Avengers Endgame still made over $100 million even with streaming more popularized. Okay, well, that's a little disingenuous. Endgame is always going to be watched. It's the culmination of the end of that first saga. That's just, I mean, not every movie's going to be Endgame. It's just not. Well, no movie can be Endgame, really. As such, capitalizing on the interest in Superman sooner rather than later does raise the chances of these sales being more considerable. More importantly, though, giving audiences early access to the first DC Universe movie is significant in terms of encouraging interest and emotional investment in the franchise in its early days. But you don't have to shoot yourself in the foot with your box office total to do that. Keep in mind, the movie literally just came out. It'll always be talked about. Releasing Superman digitally now allows those who enjoyed the movie to rewatch it at home and potentially solidify their love for the film and hope for the franchise, as well as ensuring those who couldn't see the film in cinemas can watch it early on. Ultimately, this should help expand the DCU's fandom better than a later release would. This effectively kills the momentum for the movie, and it had solid momentum. If you release this movie digitally and physical in October, it would have the same results. This also means viewers can get digital copies of Superman before the release of Peacemaker Season 2, allowing them to revisit the debuts of Hot Girl, Guy Gardner before they appear in the show. As such, it's clear Superman's digital release serves some specific purposes, even if it may be the final note for the film's overall box office results. All right, so here. Oh, my goodness. As you guys know, I currently am having sex with my wife. Here's the movie's current box office. So it made $335 million domestically, $251 million internationally. It's at currently $586,633,636.
It'll break 600.
It'll probably hit $600 million.
Yeah, it'll break 600 million. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
So I'm gonna just make, because we're fair with Fantastic Four. We got this for Superman. Superman's budget. What's marketing? We'll just choose that. AI, give me to me, AI. 220. Holy shit! Fuck, you were right. Good lord. To 225 and 150. God damn. Holy fuck. So 225 and 150. 225 plus 150 puts it at. Please tell me this can't be real. Times 2. Well, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm sorry, guys. This is gonna be a flop. But don't worry. You got positive fan reception, right? Wait, Warner Brothers literally is that meme of the person that's crying while he's smiling. Hey, we lost all our money.
Well, no, I don't think I disagree on that one.
Burn it all. Just kidding.
Here's the thing: joking. Like, what if it makes another 200 million in DVD sales, and out of that 200 million, they're keeping most of that. So then that would have been a massive profit over the 300.
It would be profitable if they took if the movie's box office ends at $600 million, and it takes about $200 million. You said in digital sales. Yeah, at that point you'd be profitable. Not a lot, but it'd be good. Yeah.
Well, you have to remember, box office sales are doubled because they only receive half.
Oh god, I forgot about that. Yep. So out of that,
so then digital sales they receive more of it.
Oh god. Yeah. Oh lord. Damn.
So they're gonna get if they end at 600, that means the movie made the studio $300 million, and if the studio makes another $100 million in digital and Blu-ray sales, the steel escapes and all that, then now the movie has made $400 million or whatever.
So the other thing to bring up to your point is James Gunn thing. So WZ said this too. So this is something that people have asked me. Why should I trust James Gunn over you? You trust whoever you want. That's just your own personal way you look at things. So play it this way in your mind. If this movie had made what Minecraft had been doing at the box office, remember Minecraft made buttloads of money, or Lilo and Stitch, or what Moana did, they'd be like, oh my god, my movie's $1 billion success. It made so much money. But since the movie didn't perform as well as he thought, he said, well, it didn't have to do that. That's cope. If this movie had performed at $800 million, he'd be singing praises right now. That'd be good.
Of course he would, but there is something to be said about the positive momentum, the positive reception. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this could be, I don't know. It does seem harsh to call it a flop, but even though by the generic standard of double the budget of the marketing but we don't know exactly.
It could be lower or higher. Keep in mind, these are always estimated. Yeah, I'm just pointing out there.
But as in the buzz, like, you don't have this much positive buzz around a movie and then could still consider it a failure, because that's just how much people are going to be eager to see Superman 2. Like, Superman 2, it could easily become $1 billion movie just because of the hype and how excited people are from Superman 1. But I don't know, though. Like, it'll all be in the future. Is Supergirl going to be good? Is there a cap now where even DC is going to have to do the same thing as Marvel, where it's like, yeah, you can make a Supergirl movie, but keep it around 150?
Yeah.
We'll see that in the future. It's hard to tell. It's just really weird because you're right. On paper, it's a flop, but yet
But if
you're
James
not
Gunn,
hearing
we'll
anyone
use
concerned. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. So if James Gunn is right, let's just say James Gunn is correct, and he said the movie didn't have to do that. So was this just a movie used as a starting point and a template just to garner fan reception?
Yeah,
Because I still
essentially,
argue you can do both.
it's a platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Uh,
a starting point. I fully get that, but it's one of those things where you can have both. Like Minecraft was a starting point for that franchise, made
Well, it
quite
could
a bit
be
of money.
also the bar of expectation. Like Warner Brothers could be saying, and James Gunn could be looking at it as like
Given the
all
movie
of the
landscape,
damage that
yeah,
was done
yeah,
before us. The best we can hope for is $500 to $700 million range. So if we
hmm
get at least around 500 mil and we get really positive reception, we're going to consider this a good success because Man of Steel comes out. It didn't have the positive reception that Superman has now. And even BVS got hyped just because they added Ben Affleck as Batman. So, Man of Steel didn't leave a bunch of people hyped. It ripped an audience right down the middle. And the quality, so it would be, maybe it's being judged on a curve where it's like, hey, yeah, we didn't make all the money back we wanted, but at least people don't hate us now. Maybe that's something that they're looking into. I don't know. Maybe this is the landscape now. Maybe
Maybe they
the
did tell
digital.
James Gunn, "Hey, movie theater attendance has been down. If you hit this number, that's good enough for us." Maybe they did,
Yeah.
but even if they told him that, that still wouldn't erase the movie not performing financially very well. It wouldn't. But this is the
Well,
to be fair,
no, it
based
doesn't.
on what you said, this is the expectations we have to live under now. Do we as audience members and people that do this kind of content have to go like, okay, that was back then. These movies can do that. Now we have to lower our money
Yeah.
range now because looking at it now, does Brand New Day make $1 billion? It might
Well,
actually
if
do like
anything in the
maybe.
superhero franchises that will make $1 billion, it'll be Spider-Man. But what is the quality of the movie that's going to be coming out?
Yeah.
We've already Spider-Man was originally going to be after Doomsday because Doomsday was originally supposed to be this year in December, but then they moved it back to December of next year. So they had to change some of the plot and do rewrites. So how much is the budget? How good is we have a director who did Shang-Chi, which was good, but can he do $1 billion Spider-Man movie? They are bringing in Daredevil, Punisher, and the Hulk because Spider-Man apparently just can't sell himself. And they're, so I don't know. Like if any film could do $1 billion, it's Spider-Man.
Probably
But
has to be. Right.
if
Yeah.
it's a stinker, that's gonna be interesting. But people love Tom Holland, so I mean, the Spider-Man movies do good money, and
I
they
think if it
are,
doesn't hit $1 billion, it'll get very close to. I think it'll do at lowest what Doctor Strange 2 did. Doctor Strange 2 did like 920, which is that's actually fucking impressive if it actually does that in this landscape.
yeah.
Not would it be
But
profitable?
yeah,
Well,
if
we
any
have to look at
film
the
hit $1
numbers.
billion, it's going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. Or Doomsday. If Doomsday had that rumored budget, oh Lord
Well,
Jesus.
Doomsday might have to make $2 billion.
If it doesn't, oh wow, flop city. But then you'll have average idiots going like, "But it made $1 billion." It's like,
Well,
okay, all right,
let's say it makes $1 billion, but everyone loves it, right?
yeah.
So then is Disney going to be like, okay, we're losing our ass financially, but we finally have people super buzzed about Secret Wars.
But
And then Secret
yeah,
Wars becomes that $2 billion film.
yeah.
So it's long game, and you're talking about multiple films. It creates a different financial expectations and landscape. But at the same time, though, I can't see them continuing to make movies this expensive.
They
If
can't.
they're
Yeah.
not getting their return.
I don't even know
Unless,
what Supergirl's budget is because
yeah,
Supergirl's budget is similar to this. That's
and
like, back it up.
unless the digital sales, like we were talking about earlier, unless those digital sales do make up for it. If home release sales have gotten so good because there's just millions of people who will do the $30 buy it or the $24 rent. If that is true, and they're adding that is a factor for what the movie makes, because you don't count toy sales, it's a different division.
Yeah.
But DVD home release sales might be wrapped in that studio movie profit. So if that's true, and it is, maybe that's covering enough. That's why these studios have no problem to continue greenlighting them. Because I've not heard zero about Warner Brothers wanting to go in a new direction. Warner Brothers worried about the prices, because all that stuff always comes out in the ether, but there's not even rumors about it. So Warner Brothers seems to be happy. James Gunn seems to be happy. Maybe they all are full of shit and super secretive and able to keep it into there. But as far as it looks like, they're happy with the direction things are going. I don't know if Marvel is, but it seems like Warner Brothers is considering that they hit a home run, even though the numbers aren't showing it. So either there's something there we're not seeing, or they're full of shit.
Maybe they're ultra giga coping and hoping the fact that they think we're just that stupid. Because this company, barring even though its new leadership is there, this company's doing some outrageous stupid things. And executives, producers have said the most dumbest shit on the man. Just remember that guy, Bruce Timm, the one who collaborated on Batman the Animated Series? That guy literally said a few years ago when that shitty Batman animated show that came out, when they gender swapped Penguin, it was just dumped straight to Amazon. Even Warner Bros. Didn't want that trash on their fucking platform. He said Batman has no good villains. Straight up a literal quote he said.
When Batman has like the best villain.
It's so insane, because this person not only worked on Batman animated series, but actually said that. It's like, holy fucking shit. But as you guys know, if you did not get a chance to see James Gunn's Superman movie in the movie theaters at the cinemas, then you can get to see it on digital. And if you can't afford it, type up Superman, into the internet, into some 7 Seas areas, and you'll find a pretty good copy of it.
Or just go to the movie theater, you cheap asses.
And if you want that physical release, you're gonna have to wait till like September. But so yeah, I mean, I liked the movie. I did, barring my gripes that I had with it. But I told you guys I was gonna be honest. If this movie didn't hit the numbers that it needs to hit, it's a disappointment. What I call it, a complete flop. Well, I guess you could. I would say it's more of a disappointment than anything. Like Flash, I would consider a flop. This and Fantastic Four, I would just consider disappointments. That's what I would kind of consider them. You can kind of mix the words in if you want to with the lingo, but hey, Rachel Brosnahan, you're up next. You out here doing some horse shit.
Naughty.
No whores go unchecked with me looking at them. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you've not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to be signing out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace. Oh, The Last Ronin has an update. We were talking about that thing hasn't been updated in a while. It was confirmed a few days ago that they're still doing it.
Yeah, everything's still working on it. That in the video game. It wasn't much of an update, but they're all like, hey, guys.
You had the Skydance merger with Paramount. Paramount was going through a merger because that fucking company was broke as a joke. Made one too many Transformer movies after last night. It really goes to show you how bad some of these companies are ran when they have to be bailed out by basically either merging with another company, or they have to be bailed out by just being just completely just bought by another bigger entity. Insane to think about at this point now, But, Michael asked, are we still going to be doing movie reviews here? That's something that we talked about too. We just need to do it and be consistent with it. There's ideas I have for doing it, which is pretty much similar to what we do on the open spoiler discussion. Like, very similar to that. We watch a movie, then we just talk about it here, and then I would clip it out. But it just depends, because, I do want to watch way more movies. We're just busy. But if we set it up like this, one movie a week, I don't think that's that bad. One movie a week is not that bad. It's literally nothing at the grand scheme of things, But I would always like to watch movies closer to when we could do the review, That way it's fresh in my mind and we could just go straight in, right?
Now,
That's
are
what
we
I like.
talking about home release movies or are we talking about
We
theater
have the
movies?
internet. We can find anything. Let's just say that.
Okay, all right.
Here's like Netflix movies. If it's on the internet, we can find it. Let's just say that. You know. Oh, dude. I said I used that one website on my old previous box office series that I had on my original channel. I found it. I actually found it. I had to type into AI repeatedly. I was like, give me the search. But I found it. I found it. You guys remember a good old Flix Patrol? So you know how you said you wanted like some stats about digital and
Yeah.
home release and shit like that? This doesn't give numbers, but it gives the best range of what is people's interest. So make sure to book this website too, just in case I forget. So right here, Flix Patrol. And I'll have it bookmarked because it's in my search history. No porn, guys. That's too. Is that good enough? 75%, 175 or 200?
No, that's good.
That 75 is good for this one. Okay, so Flix Patrol was so good because it actually gave me a good insight as to like what are the best performing movies on every streaming service. What are people renting to buy? Like right here, top 10 on streaming in the world. So Netflix right here. You have HBO, Disney Plus, Prime, Paramount Plus, Apple, Netflix, HBO. It's so weird how Warner Brothers has like 2 different HBO services. They have like HBO Now and HBO Max. That's so stupid. That should just be merged. No. Oh, it's my bad. At one point they did have what I just said there, but this is movies to shows. Sorry, but it goes through like all the streaming services, top 10 best performing movies and shows. And then you have, you said VOD and digital releases and shit like that. So you have VOD calendar, new movies and TV shows streaming right now, all this. Then you said rent and buy. So you look at worldwide. I have it set on worldwide, all platforms. But if you want a specific platform, they have it here. They should. Then you have rent to buy. So on iTunes, the most rented TV show right now is The Gilded. Amazon be like South Park. This is the closest thing that I have to that I even saw.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. It's interesting because if you look at behavior, and we know studios want to make money, so if you look at behavior, it makes me think that there must be a decently profitable market on digital, because if it wasn't, a box office was more important, then you wouldn't be seeing successful movies going off so quickly. So I think there has to be something about when it goes to this side that there's enough profit in it where the studios are like, yeah, we're not worried about, a $90 million box office because we're going to make the rest up on the other end. I'm not 100% sure. The fact that they don't show them, though, is really interesting, too. So it's like.
But remember, streaming services are going to do what Netflix is doing. They're not even going to report how many more subscribers they're gaining each quarter now.
Yeah. Well, and streaming services are even worse. Like, we're not even talking. We're just talking digital sales. Like, I was talking.
Yeah,
sales.
Streaming ratings could just be. Streaming ratings are literally just source. Trust me, bro. That's literally all it is.
Yeah. That's just bullshit that they tell you to get you to watch it. Like War of the Worlds with Ice Cube is on the list of most popular, when I've heard that movie is a disaster. Like the worst movie
to be fair, new movies typically have that. Everyone that's going to watch it is going to only watch it within about a few weeks and it's going to fall off. That's always, even with the most absolute dog shit. That's
people might go watch it now just because they heard it's the worst movie ever. It's like, I need to go see this shit.
So you know what's crazy? Even on this website, you have like other things like the most popular titles in movies and DBs on August 15th. Well, it's all movie databases, but then you could also search it on what are people looking at on websites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Wikipedia. What is the most torrented? Like what is the most torrented movie? Like that's why I think this website is the best at garnering all that info. That's my opinion. Like you can look at, okay, what is the movie that everyone's torrenting? They used to have that. They used to have it. Maybe they took it off. Maybe they took it off. Oh my god. They just take it off? Oh shit. Yeah, they used to have or preferences, country of origin, all this stuff. It's the best analytical breakdown website. Right here. So popularity. If I go to X, Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube trailer views, IMDb, Letterboxd. Yeah, they took off. They used to have uTorrent here. They used to have what is the most popular torrented movie. That's crazy. I took it off. That's insane. I could see why, because the website could point to people just torrenting a movie. Makes sense. You can't have that. Titles, movie database. So what is the most? Yeah, the MCU is MCU and DC. Yeah, like you look at some of these right here. This makes sense, right? So I just went, what is the most popular thing on X for people to talk about as far as a genre? MCU makes sense, right? DC makes sense.
Those
Spider-Man
came out. Yeah. There's news on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Hell, even Suicide Squad. There's been articles about James Gunn talking about Margot Robbie, and also the guy who did the first Suicide Squad recently came out in an interview where he was talking about how that movie destroyed him. So it's those are all in the zeitgeist right now because people are talking about them.
Also, you can even, I'll show this right here. Movies also in watch hour time. Most watched movies and TV shows in terms of views and watch hours. So the most watched thing in 2021 was like Squid Game or whatever. No, Squid Game season 2. That came out this year, right? Yeah, season 2 came out this year. Or was it last year? I freaking forgot, honestly. Grouped together.
Premiere might be the first season.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So what a great analytical website. All these people here can persons. What are the most popular actors on Wikipedia today? Paul Bettany, Peter Sellers, Linda, all this bullshit. Okay. Top actors on Facebook, top actors on X, top actors on Instagram, top actors on TikTok. Wow. That's why I love this website. So analytical, so much of a breakdown. But before we actually head out of here, is there basically just a way you could give me all your money?
No.
Awesome. So, is there anything you would like to let the audience know about that you have coming up?
Catch me on here Sunday for my draw stream. And then next week I will be on the panel show on MSK's channel on Wednesday. And then we'll be back on Friday. It'll be the weekend of the 29th is when I hope to be moving. So depending on how fast I get my internet hooked up and I get everything set up, I may not miss a show or miss a beat. I probably will miss the draw stream that weekend, right before September starts, because I don't know if I'll have everything up by that quickly. But then I will be back quickly right after the first Sunday of September. I should be back. So,
hell yeah. So, as you guys know, for me, tomorrow I am doing my show with Labs Comic Fan, 7:30 p.m. PST. We're going to be reviewing the comic of myself. I have a comic. I'm joking. So, tomorrow, me and Labs Comic Fans show, 7:30 p.m. PST. We're going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Flash #2. And we have several topics to go over, comic book industry related. So, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show, and you guys have a great weekend, and we'll